Gary Neville's hatred for Mikel Arteta is insane. I've never heard of a pundit cuss out a manager like this in my entire life. Just when Arsenal fans have started to get over Michael Oliver giving Myles Lewis Skelly one of the harshest red cards you'll ever see, you know, being buzzing about the 2-1 win over Girona, getting third place in the league phase of the Champions League with a decent performance. Well, Mr. Gary Neville over here decided to come out of the rat trap, out of the sewage, to give his opinion on Michael Oliver's red card. But here we are, back at it again. Listen to this nonsense, right? And tell me that this guy doesn't have an agenda against Mikel Arteta.
In the world. And one thing I will say is, and to be fair, I'm not bothered because Arsenal fans not a great fan to me anyway, but I think they've become so entitled. Honestly, is it Aresnal? I mean, playing against Wolves. Wolves got more bad decisions against them in the last 15 months than any other club in the country, it feels like. They had some shockers against them last season. I just feel like every time Arsenal have a decision against them, it was a bad decision. But there is a definite exaggeration from Arsenal and their cohort of people in their sort of sphere about every time they have a decision go against them. It's like the end of the world.
It wasn't just Arsenal fans that said it was the worst decision in the world. Alan Shearer called it out. Gary Lineker called it out. Everybody was calling it out about how PGMOL have done a bad thing and they made it all about themselves. But it's the Arsenal fans that can't have a say and that they're entitled. What about your own fan base in the Man United fan section, right? That was giving out all the abuse to Michael Oliver following the 2-2 draw against Liverpool with the BOMB stuff. What about that? Massive hypocrite. This is the same man, right, that wants to sprout nonsense, incite hatred towards Nicolas Jova for doing his job on a touchline.
The situation Arsenal find themselves in the league is that it feels like they're one game away from a crisis, even though they're having a really good season. But because Liverpool are where they are and it's not Man City, there's this frustration and this anger that, like, this was supposed to be us. And it feels like every game is on the edge.
I find what Jamie Carragher says in response to that very true. But we've had 9 to 10 points robbed of us due to refereeing decisions going against us for the harshest of things. João Pedro's penalty was never a penalty in the Brighton draw. Like, we've had decisions go against us where we feel hard done by, and we're rightly feeling hard done by. Do you know what I mean? And this guy is just egging on everybody to hate on Arsenal. This is a guy that's well paid by Sky Sports to talk about things. Well, knows the PGMOL referees very well. Has his opinion on everything. Yet was silent, as every other pundit unassociated with Sky Sports called it out. I agree, it's not the worst decision in the Premier League history. I think some of the things that have been said are a bit mad, but this is one of the worst refereeing decisions of the season, without doubt. Villa, Sheffield United, there was a blatant goal that was never given as a goal because the goal line technology had shut down for the game. That ended up keeping Aston Villa up in the division, relegating Sheffield United. Or the other way around, or like that game, that was one of the worst decisions. Yeah? Yesterday, we saw that in the UEFA Champions League. Do we know who the referee is? We don't. We don't know who the referee is. These people at Sky Sports have made the referees the centre of attention. Not Arsenal fans, Sky Sports. By giving these people their own show on Ref Watch. By giving these people podcasts and having their say after they're retired. Lo and behold, they'll end up on being on Celebrity Big Brother, or I'm a Celebrity Soon, having a laugh at some of the refereeing decisions they've given.
Anyway, I think they've become so entitled.
You're entitled to your opinion, but your opinion on Nicolas Jova makes it look like this opinion is an agenda-driven. It's agenda-driven nonsense.
I mean, playing against Wolves. Wolves got more bad decisions against them in the last.
With the Wolves take, I can understand that. I've seen Wolves get been hard done by in a lot of games.
Have a decision against them. It was a bad decision, but there is a definite exaggeration from Arsenal.
It's not exaggerated when there's a pattern of decisions going against us, time after time after time. This is the same guy that said that Arsenal weren't undone by against Newcastle when we lost 1-0. When there was a foul on Gabriel, Anthony Gordon was offside, and the ball had gone out of play, which Joe Willock admitted to an Arsenal teammate after the game. This guy stood there, looked like a moron, because I don't think he is a moron. He's meant to be one of the smartest pundits, trying to justify the decision. I don't get this guy, bro.
Michael Oliver and his family received death threats.
Who's this from? This is from me.
Death threats after his decision to give a red card yesterday. We should all be careful with our criticisms of referees, as there are a lot of lunatics out there.
Be careful of our referees, but you're not careful with your spiteful comments towards Nicholas Jova. You're not careful with your spiteful comments about the Glazers, or being careful about your spiteful comments about Marcus Rashford and Mikel Arteta. Sod off, man. What, because they're lovey-dovey with you? What, because you want to chat to them on PGMOL or have them on your podcast? Honestly, SYM, man. SYM, bro. Shout out Kano. Shout out Kano.
Every time we get a chance, and I actually thought it was a red card. As it was effing reckless, and Matt Doherty isn't running away from anyone with his pace. Little emoji that goes like that.
Why don't we praise the UEFA referees instead from yesterday? Because they referee with no controversy. We had a penalty that wasn't given. Sterling had dived. A yellow card from Declan Rice. No complaints from that from us Arsenal fans. And we won the game, by the way. We had a goal ruled out for offside. No complaint about that. Semi-automated offside. And so did they. The referee was fair. And we don't know who the guy is. But you guys, the centre of attention, made them the centre of attention, bro. It's a...
Don't forget to look in the mirror before making very harsh judgments on people doing their jobs to the best.
What about the Arsenal footballers that are getting criticised every week for missing chances? What about the United players that you cuss out every week for losing to teams like Brighton, Palace and so forth in the league? What about that? What about Ruben Amorim? It's hypocritical what this guy is talking about. If you're going to come for one person and you call out Rashford, for example, because I'm not just talking about Arteta here, you call out everybody, including the referees. The same guy that cussed out Ronaldo all those years ago to get blanked by him, didn't want to criticise Ole Gunnar Solskjaer when Solskjaer was falling flat at United. This guy picks and chooses who he wants to defend. Yeah, I'll say this, I'm so glad that TNT have the rights for the Champions League games. I'm so glad that it's on Amazon Prime as well, and it's not on Sky Sports. So that Jamie Redknapp and, Jamie Carragher's on CBS. He covers the game in a better light over there anyways. Alongside Michael Richards, Thierry Henry, and Kate Abdo. They do a good job as the pundits, as a team itself, right? I'm so glad that this guy's not punditing these kind of games so that he could drive his agenda towards Arteta. Because he ruins games sometimes, listening to him. It really does annoy me, about it, man. What's even hilarious is that the fact that the Mail Sport have made a TikTok, about Gary Neville accusing Arteta of influencing Arsenal fans to claim referees are corrupt and cheating.
Of fueling Arsenal fans' growing hostility towards referees, warning the club's approach is contributing to a toxic online culture. The pundits' comments come in the wake of referee Michael Oliver receiving death threats and abuse following Arsenal.
Where was this energy when Michael Oliver didn't do his job in the Man United-Liverpool game? Where was this energy from the Man United fans? The toxic online culture has been going ever since Twitter was made. There's always been a toxic culture when footballers get racially abused for missing a sitter, or a penalty or whatnot. Gary Neville is part to blame for this. The irony! This guy was part of the reason why we lost the 50-game unbeaten streak. This guy was playing right back as Arsenal was screwed over by the referee. As United beat Arsenal 2-0. When there was red cards, several fouls got given, A penalty not given for Arsenal in that game. You want to sit there and be lovey-dovey because you got those decisions in your own way. You even had a legendary manager and Martin O'Neill come on the podcast, his own podcast, saying the referee bottle giving Aston Villa any decisions their way because of Sir Alex Ferguson in the defeat in Cage United in the Carabao Cup. What? You, because you had it all your way from refereeing decisions under Howard Webb and them, man. Yeah? Mike Riley and whoever the fuck their names are. Yeah, it's fine. But when Arsenal complain of an unfair red card, it's a disgrace. Gary Neville, yeah, should never interview Mikel Arteta again. Or Marcus Rashford for that matter. Mikel Arteta even came out in the press conference the day before the Champions League match and said, hatred is wrong. We should never hate our manager and the referees and everyone. Gary Neville is a PGMOL cheerleader and defender. That is hilarious. Shout out Eagle. Eagle is hilarious. But like this sort of stuff right here, man. It's why Arsenal fans get onto him every day. Do you want Arsenal fans to give you crap on the internet? No. We don't want to give people crap. We don't want to be reacting to this. We want to be thinking about Man City on Sunday.
See, this is why I've got to stop him here. I'm going to put this clip up. He's the best referee in the country. The idea that he would go into that game on Saturday or Sunday, whenever it is, Sunday afternoon, and think that he's going to be basically swayed towards City or Rams. See, this is why I've got to stop him here. I'm going to put this clip up, okay? Now, there's multiple news articles about this dating back to 2016. But take a look at this from 3 to 4 months ago on the same show with Gary Neville. Take a little listen.
Yeah. Graham Paul once came in to do a talk for us and said that he carried over feelings and thoughts and emotions from previous incidents with players and instances. He did say that.
Can't do that.
He did say that.
He did say it was. Yeah, he came in and he spoke. The bottom line he was saying.
So the same podcast with predominantly the same guests. You hear it there from the horse's mouth. They have been told by ex-referees that they carry biases over into games. And there you have Gary Neville today saying, can't believe Michael Oliver's been taken off. So that's just... Gary Neville has admitted, he's written articles about it, he's spoken about it on TV, and he's said it on podcasts, that he knows for a fact that referees hold grudges and take biases into the next games if fans give them stick, if players give them stick. So Oliver's been given a load of stick and some disgusting abuse, which shouldn't happen, but a lot of rightful criticism this week. How can Gary Neville sit there and say, I have no idea how he can be taken off of the game involving that team a week after that bad decision, which, by the way, was overturned in Arsenal's favour?
Now, think about it like this, right? Imagine you're Myles Lewis Skelly, for example, left back, playing for Arsenal. You're picked to start in that game, and the referee who sent you off is managing. You know how awkward that must be? As a footballer, to feel like you're treading on eggshells of a red card happy referee to make a tackle. But if PGMOL admitted the decision was a mistake, and Mikel Arteta decided to be brave for once in his fucking life and came out and said, you know what, guys? You know what? I made a bad decision to send off Myles Lewis Skelly. Everything would have been alright. If Mikel Arteta had become a bit more responsible for his actions, said, you know what? The red card was a little bit harsh. I thought he stepped on him. I was proved wrong. The VAR thought the same thing. They were wrong. Fair enough. Arsenal fans wouldn't be angry. It's the lack of accountability from these people. And then they're getting arse-lit by people like Gary Neville because of stuff like this. Like, look at this, right? Look at this clip right here, right? Look who he's talking to. Howard Webb. Howard Webb is the head of PGMOL. So there's a clear relation towards him. There's maybe they're friends on the outside. They got WhatsApp numbers and whatnot, yeah? So there's a clear bias to defend this man right here. Because they're friends. Gary Neville has no relations with Mikel Arteta. No relations. Maybe Marcus Rashford dislikes the bloke and Gary Neville. So you're meant to be impartial. Gary Neville is meant to be impartial with his football opinions. Yet he has Howard Webb on the podcast. And I go back to this tweet. Here, Gary Neville is defending the assistant ref while Ian Wright and Roy Keane were calling him out, saying 100% red card. Howard Webb on Bruno's red, it was clearly wrong. The Bruno red card against Tottenham Hotspur, given a red card, he falls over. Cool. You know, Man United fans were upset with that refereeing decision. What happened? PGMOL done the right thing, said it was the wrong call. It didn't even need to be an appeal. They rescinded it. No problem. Man United fans, they calmed down after that. But this here, bro, it's a joke.
Actually, I'm commentating on the game. And the reaction of the Tottenham players, sometimes when you see an outrage from 5 players all at once that are really close to it, you think, that's a bad one, that. You know, your gut feel is, and I think the referee, I don't know if he was sort of influenced by the reaction of the Tottenham players, but it really looked like a bad one because of the reaction of the Tottenham players. Is that something that you do look at as a referee when you see an incident like that? Was he influenced by that in that particular moment, do you think, or not? Or did he just not read the slip?
I mean, if you've heard we released the audio last night, and you can hear the assistant referee who's got a good view of it just saying, that looks awful, that's 100% red for me. And from his angle, it looks it because it looks like the studs have gone up. But then there's an angle that's shown replay, second replay that's shown
replay, yeah, that was the one that made me
straight away I've gone,
I know.
That'll be an overturn, and it wasn't. And I was kind of frustrated that we didn't step in to rectify because it was clearly wrong.
You're telling me Howard Webb hasn't learned from their mistake for the Bruno Fernandes one, that PGMOL haven't learned from the mistake from what Michael Oliver did following that game with United and Tottenham. That slip. Oh, I thought VAR was going to iterate looking at different replays. But they didn't look at the different replays from Myles Lewis Skelly and then just gave that a straight red card. They didn't look at the multiple replays for the João Pedro penalty against Arsenal. But they don't look at the other angles to look at and be like, you know what? Referee, have a look on the monitor. Because maybe from Michael Oliver's angle, he's behind Lewis Skelly, he's behind Doherty, he sees somebody try to clip him up. Maybe it looks like he's kicked him in the Achilles and it's high. In the back of the leg, it looks high. But the VAR is meant to look at it and go for it and be like, hold on a minute, you're in the wrong there. All I want as an Arsenal fan is for these people to learn from their mistakes. Learn from your mistakes. You know, don't give I don't want to see a foul given for stopping a counter-attack. I don't want to see another penalty given for a player heading the ball then heading a man. I don't want to see a red card / second yellow card for a player kicking the ball away. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. But what I also want is Arsenal to be treated fairly. If you're going to do for one, do for other. Or just don't do it. As a pundit, as somebody to give an opinion on football, paid tons of £1,000 a week to have your own show, give your opinion, fair enough, be impartial. This guy is not impartial enough. The reason why I get so annoyed with Gary Neville is because he's the pundit for all the big Arsenal games alongside Jamie Carragher in the Prem. He'll be either on the commentary box or in the punditry team with Michael Richards and maybe Thierry Henry or something, talking about the Arsenal City game. It's a joke, man. It's a joke. Like, you're meant to be impartial in your job, and he's not doing that. How can you be so annoyed about Nicholas Jova, but then try to defend Michael Oliver? It's insanity. FA have written reasons on Myles Lewis Skelly's red card said the commission members were unanimous in their opinion. The referee had made an obvious error. Myles Lewis Skelly had obviously not endangered the safety of an opponent or used excessive force or brutality. It's just a trip. It's just tripped them up. And then Gary Neville spun this to make Arteta seem like he's forcing these corrupt opinions when Mikel Arteta doesn't even answer the question half the time. He says, you know what it is. Even defended Oliver and said, you know what, the hatred towards him is a bit excessive. Give over. He's always had this agenda. always had this viewpoint. Like, for him to influence Arsenal fans is a straight up lie. And like, as a pundit, as a journalist, he's gonna be interviewing managers. You're gonna, like, they speak to the some Friday night football or Saturday night football. Like, it's just crazy, man. Gary Neville's commitment of making Arsenal's Arteta look overly emotional, out of control, is what led to these refereeing decisions. Could be. And he has the nerve to say we're entitled when we complain about these decisions. All the club did was appeal in a normal way and won. Facts. Arsenal fans, let me know what you think. Football fans, let me know what you think about Gary Neville. I don't think he's impartial at all. I think he shouldn't be doing a punditry for the Arsenal-Man City game. The fact that he's even come out and said Michael Oliver was meant to officiate the game is a blatant lie. The same referee that sent off Trossard biasly for a second yellow card offence when he was trying to find Martinelli. PGMOL and Sky Sports linking up together has made refereeing decisions 10 times worse. Whether it's for Arsenal or against Arsenal, it is not good enough. And I think Mikel Arteta, look, if they speak and they interview together, he has to call it out for what it is. Like Ronaldo did, when Ronaldo stood on business. But yeah, that's all I have to say about the matter. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. 530 subscribers is crazy. I want to try and get to 550. It's insane, man. It's insane. As I edit this video, I go on Twitter. I see this. Let's read it. Arsenal have been charged after its players surrounded a match official during the Premier League game against Wolves on the 25th of January. The club allegedly failed to ensure its players did not behave in an improper manner around the 43rd minute. Arsenal have until Monday, 3rd of February, to provide a response. Well done, the FA, for confirming that you have an agenda towards everybody that come for you, that criticize you, that go through the referee and say it as it is. How can you review and give this statement out now, fine Arsenal now, after the red card for Lewis Skelly was overturned? How does that work? Shout out Mark Goldbridge, who just instantly commented with this. Are you having a laugh? City have been doing this for years. They were right to protest because if the decision was proven to be wrong, you're a joke and you're sending the wrong message. What this sends to me is the referees could get everything wrong and face no consequences for it. It's an absolute joke. It's so shameless. And stuff like this is incredibly dumb, incredibly silly. Like, why are you dragging this on? Move on. The journalists want to be quick to say move on, yet the saga continues. If Arsenal, look, they'll win. They should win this. Response. They should call it out for what it is. And looking at the response, the double standards. I think they did get fined for this. Man City. I can't lie. It's just digging their heels, saying that they'll get you on something. Obviously, Arsenal fans are bringing up Man City situations. Arsenal fans have been a bit overreactionary with that. I've seen City actually get fined for it. Why are you going to charge Oliver and the VAR guy for failure to do their jobs? Exactly. So there's punishment for Arsenal, but not punishment for the referees. It makes no sense. So a person could cheat on their missus, right? But the missus can't respond to it. Why can't people just admit when they're in the wrong, man? But yeah, well done, FA. Arsenal, do your thing, man. Call it out for it is. Put it into an independent panel. Speak to FIFA about it. I don't know. Go from there. See you later in a bit, people. In a bit.